Hey everyone, Fan here, and today I want to discuss something that has been announced from roughly a month ago. You see, an event series that has been missing for several years has finally came back to the Mega Man Maker community, and oh boy, was I excited for it. It's called Mega Man Maker Level Contest. Okay, I know that's a boring name, but the concept itself wasn't. Whenever a new contest was released, there was always a cool theme behind it, like fusing two Robot Masters into one stage, or making a level based around speedrunning. You wanna know the best part? The prizes are legitimate! We're talking Steam gift cards, folks! That's something worth winning! So, when I heard they were coming back for the new year, I knew I had to join the hype train. But aside from this, how did my experience go when it came to making my submission, Moonlit Sabotage on Monsoon Temple? Well, let's find out. I assume everyone on the channel knows what a Mega Man Maker level contest is, and if you do, congratulations! You know what this one is too. This contest is a traditional building challenge. You have 1 month to build a traditional 20 to 40 screen level using anything in the engine to your desires. You cannot use anything outside that engine or it's disqualification. Some rules did add a lot of creativity to the table though. For example, this one. Your level's primary weapon does not need to be the character's default weapon. Mega Buster, Roll Swing, etc, etc. When I was done reading through the rules, I went straight to the brainstorming phase. I sat down in a Discord VC with a friend, opened up Mega Man Maker with WordPad on the side, and started coming up with potential level ideas. Some ideas were a monster lair, an arcade, a barren wasteland, and much more. After coming up with multiple ideas, with each idea having multiple enemies to choose from, I talked to a lot of more friends to discuss what the theme would be until I came down to 3 options. A monster lair, a hydroelectric dam, and a Chinese-styled level. After 2 days of concepting, I hanged out with a lot of friends to discuss the contest and what they were going to do. One of them wanted to do a level around traversing a jungle-like area as you slash through numerous enemies, which I found to be very interesting. Hope that one gets to the top 10. Another friend wanted to do a theme where you climb through a mountain containing Shupupans and dangerous enemies. It was a simple idea, but man was the end result great! After a little break, I decided to get back to work. I didn't know what ideas to add on to a couple of these themes, so I said, what better way to find some inspiration than to play a game that I really liked? Oh yeah! We're playing X2! And X3. Even though X2 is better. I didn't fully record my playthrough of them both, but I managed to capture this. After finally getting some ideas down for all 3 ideas, I posted them on a poll that you might have seen. This poll, as it stated, helps me decide which theme to choose out of the 3, and I want to thank everyone who voted for this poll. Without you guys, I'm pretty sure I'd be stuck with 1 week left to go. Now for the winner. Drumroll please! Chinese theme! I wanted to expand upon this Chinese theme and do something more with it. So, after a couple hours of brainstorming, I came up with an idea. What if this was inspired by the Great Wall of China? The stage would be set in a temple that is showered by a bloody monsoon. Now, you may be asking how this even relates to the Great Wall. Well, my answer to you is that some of the ruins in this level were inspired by it. To also further flesh out the Chinese style, I made the level work around Tengu Blade, with a weapon that deals really good damage and has a lot of capabilities. It would be really fun to work around with, and as well as other skill-based weapons. Now that I have a theme, it's time to move on to the next phase, layout. This is where I construct the stage with draft blocks. The first step is to find what enemies work and what doesn't. Now let me tell you something about this process. Holy fuck! This process was tedious. Throughout the duration of this contest, I had to do this at least 3 times. My first set of enemies is the Baton, Fever, Hanya Attacker, Raton, Petite Snakey, Kumasaburo, and as a big enemy, Benkei. Yeah, good set. But there are 2 problems that I wouldn't notice until making the level. Number 1. Some enemies have the same function. For example, Fever and Kumasaburo have the same way of attacking, crawler-like moves. Also, lots of enemies attacked from the ground, which can mess me up a lot. Number 2. This is a big roster. Keep in mind, this level is supposed to be medium length, 20 to 40 screens. Not a large-scale level. I won't be able to use every enemy to their fullest potential, which can lead to some not-so-great things. Doing things more than less is going to give me a huge benefit in this contest. After readjusting my enemy roster, I upgraded my roster to Mechakero, Hanya Attacker, Fever, Raton, Flying Shell, Dawncatcher, and Benkei is the big enemy again. For gimmicks, I decided to do Wanin, Lift Platform, and Venus Waterfalls. Cool, I fixed the first problem, and immediately replaced it with this problem. Some enemies are completely impossible to work in my style. For example, Hanya Attacker keeps despawning in horizontal scrolling rooms, thus ruining a lot of challenges. The only way to make Hanya Attacker a challenge is to put him in a single fucking room. Change again. The fuck you mean, Oh, right. During the layout of this stage, I had the misfortune to catch the flu. This impacted my pace heavily. This stupid virus caused me to procrastinate a lot, give me multiple migraines, and the body chills. I had to take 2 days off in order to gain the slightest bit of energy to work on this thing. Did I do the work? Yeah, of course. For only 20 to 40 minutes. Thankfully, when I recovered, I slowly got back to my normal pace, but boy did it take me a bit. The first thing I did when I got my energy back is, you guessed it, change my enemy roster, and added some gimmicks too. Here is the finalized roster. Yambo, Berry 3, Fever, Mechakero, and Benkei as the big enemy. For gimmicks, Venus Waterfall, and a unique gimmick that I took some inspiration from Shovel Knight Shovel of Hope, complete darkness with only the rain to help you guide the way. Great, we finally got a spark. Now let's turn that into fire and make this level. Throughout the process of laying out the level, I improvised a lot of ideas on the spot. I took a bit to think about what challenge some rooms should have, and when I thought of something, I immediately laid it out, tested it, and see what happens. If it turns out to be great, I'll keep it and see what I can do to enhance the challenge. If not, well, I'd either find some way to make the challenge good, or to the scrap heap it goes. Though, it does help to test gimmicks and enemies in separate areas, so you can get accustomed to what each enemy and gimmick does, and so you can find what combinations and challenges work, and what doesn't. After finishing the layout, it's time to find some playtesters. Thankfully, a lot of my friends were able to provide some great feedback, whether it was regarding the fun factor of the level, or how it was designed. One of the major issues is that the darkness gimmicks felt very confusing and sometimes unfair to navigate, specifically when moving upwards. This was one of the harder critiques to fix, but thankfully I found some sort of temporary fix before moving on. After making some more tweaks and major changes, the layout was finally complete. I had the same people who playtested it run through it again, and after a few more fixes, the phase was truly done. Folks, I know I said it in my tips and tricks video, and I'm going to say it again. Playtest your levels. Even if it has to be multiple times. It can go a long way, especially for a level contest. Now that the layout is finished, it's time to move on to the last step. Decorations. When decorating my stages, it was always my least favorite part of the process, even for contest submissions, but ironically, it became one of my favorite parts here, if not my favorite part. I have no idea why, but I'm very glad it did, because my mind went into wonders decorating this stage. You would start out at the bottom of the temple. Everywhere around you is in blue and in ruins. Eventually, you'll notice that you're exploring a runic cavern. Eventually, you'll find a way out and take a glimpse into what Temple Monsoon looks like, as well as you fight a Benkei. You exit the temple to be greeted by a bloody monsoon. When you find your way out of the darkness, you'll see that Temple Monsoon is now in complete ruins. This is where the level setting truly begins to shine. Throughout the level, you'll navigate your way through the ruins of Temple Monsoon and the runic caverns that lie with it. Yeah, I went Fallout Dark Souls with this shit. Well, with a lot for a stage, how did I manage to pull all of this off? One word. Layers. Layers significantly helped make this level shine, and while it was tedious to switch between a lot of layers and disassembling the rest, it was highly worth it, and I had a lot of fun out of it. It was really fun figuring out what colors each area should be. At first, I wanted the whole stage to be yellow and blue, but things were not coming up right, so when asking my friends in a VC what contrasts well with blue, they said red. So red and blue it is! The blue covers the runic areas, while the red covers Temple Monsoon. After decorating for a long while, I decided to take a break and spend some time with my friends, which I won't lie, was really fun. And needed. I watched some friends play some Kingdom Rush, Mega Man GB4, best Game Boy game by the way, and some of us even played Lethal Company for a bit. Sadly, Lethal Company wasn't as fun as I hoped. After a long while of hanging out, I decided to finish this level up. Afterwards, I got some old and new playtesters to play it, and there were still some things that needed to be tweaked. For starters, the darkness gimmick was still a bit confusing to maneuver. It was difficult to tell what is a bottomless pit and what wasn't. I won't lie, this is a pretty big deal and a big problem to solve, because if you die at the climax of this level, kiss your progress goodbye. Thankfully, I found a solution to fix this problem and moved on to the next one. The last big problem is that the first third of the level felt super slow. The first third of the stage introduces very little things and can feel a bit boring. It's like a curve. It starts escalating very slowly, before rushing up with introducing a bunch of gimmicks! Thankfully, there's an easy fix to this. I introduced one of the gimmicks before the first checkpoint, mainly the Venus Waterfalls. This is where the Venus Waterfalls were introduced before. Yeesh, that's a bit too far. Let's introduce it right here. Good. I did tweak up a bit of the challenges to compensate for the introduction, and then it was fantastic. I also fixed a bit more problems regarding challenge, and after that the level is finally complete. Now, it just needs a name. A friend of mine helped me create some names, and I went with Moonlit Sabotage on Monsoon Temple. Adding up all the work days, procrastination days, and sick days, this level took me 24 days to complete. Yeah, I used a lot of my time to procrastinate. Be productive. Hey everyone, it's me, Fanny Pack, pausing the video here for a second, because I want to bring in a behind-the-scenes sort of clip from the results of the Mega Man Maker level contest. Before we begin this clip, there's a few things I want to mention. Number one, Sasha gave me an honorable mention, and I love you, Sasha, for doing that. Thank you so much for enjoying my level. But I probably just in case that if I fuck up pronouns by any means, I apologize in advance. I usually am bad with pronouns, so I hope you don't feel uncomfortable with that. And if you do, I apologize in advance. Second of all, I know I say it in the clip, but I want to say it again. Congratulations to everyone that made shoutouts, and congratulations to everyone who participated in the contest. You all did a really good job, and while I haven't played every one of your levels, I can tell that you put in a lot of effort. So, great job, everyone. Without further ado, enjoy this clip. Hello, everyone. I'm the Fanny Pack. I I just got back from school and looking at the judges and their little things. I'm here with Saxone. Say hi.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hi.
We are here to see what the judges have to offer and say about if my levels got in, of course. Before we start, though, congratulations to everyone that made honorable mentions in the top 10 or whatever the top X is. The top X, we'll say the top X. So congratulations to everyone, and congratulations to everyone who participated in the contest. Yeah, great job, everyone.
Job. Busan right there.
Bodhisama. Alright. I've heard that Sasha gave me an honorable mention, so we'll start with Sasha here. Very fancy name. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. The level design here is pretty solid. Usually there's not much done to try and slow down the player, which works well to the stage's favor. Beavers were used the best out of everything. They had multiple different ways of threatening the player, whether you'd rise up into a bed of spikes, fall down into a water pit, or be hit by another enemy. Yeah, Fevers are pretty interesting enemies.
That is such a weird name for like a crab enemy.
It is, Fevers. I'm glad that Mega Man Maker included the other type from GB5 that's only in one fucking room in the game. Yeah. They were really fun to experiment with, as well as use other enemies to their advantage. I actually have an updated level that I might post here when this video comes out. So if y'all want to play that, I'll link it in the description down below. So let's keep going with this. Mecha Kara really came out to be a major threat, though. The main weapon not being the Buster makes these guys way harder to deal with while trying to go fast. But I like that. Yeah.
What's Mecha Kara again?
Yeah, you know those little frog enemies from Mega Man 3 and like Gemini Man's level? Well, not Gemini Man's level, Shadow Man's level, mainly.
Yeah, I'm trying to...
The yellow frogs,
Oh, you're talking about the jumpy things! Oh, the jumpy things!
Yeah,
Oh, I know. When I think of them, I imagine them as red instead of yellow, so that's why.
I think they have a red variant, but I usually commit them. I usually commit to them as the yellow one because, you know, Shadow Man.
This variant.
Yeah. I lost track where we're at. Hold on.
You're talking Mecha Karos.
Oh yeah, and then after that, I appreciate the waterfalls mainly being used to deter the player rather than fully stopping and going past them is very satisfying. Tengu Blade. The reason why I do that. Tengu Blade. Tengu Blade, Tengu Blade, Tengu Blade. I fucking loved experimenting with Tengu Blade throughout the level. Out of all the levels here, this stage flows incredibly well. Tengu Blade as a primary weapon is unorthodox, but the dash jumps are used to great effect. The damage is well balanced. Look at that! Tengu Blade, Tengu Blade, Tengu. I don't know if it's my favorite weapon in Mega Man and Base though, but I said, you know what? Fuck it. Let's make a level out of Tengu Blade because I never made a weapon based around a special weapon, and I'm really glad I chose Tengu Blade.
For me, it's probably Spread Drill or Burn Wave.
Spread Drill is a pretty good.
Yeah.
Adding Mega Ball on top of the dash jumps though. It unlocks. Oh yes, Mega Ball. Oh, hey, Termina. I mean, honestly, it's not that big of an issue for me personally. The big issue with Mega Ball is Rush Coil. Ironically enough, I should have removed Rush Coil and Rush Jet because Mega Ball does pretty much that. It's a Rush Coil, so yeah. But I mean, I guess that adds more opportunity for springy boys and additional jumps. So yeah, it unlocks the most fun speedrun level of the contest by far. The rest of the
it's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. I didn't anticipate for that to. I didn't anticipate it to be that though, but hey, I'll take it. Where the fuck are we at? Ah, here we go. The rest of the weapons are more niche, but they do serve their purpose well. Only Magic Card feels pointless, really. I can't think of how many places you'd use it in a casual setting, let alone in a speedrun. I agree with that. Magic Card was kind of there for just a single one-up. Or what's this? What about those who don't know how to use the Mega Ball? Kick it! I made rooms where you were able to kick Mega Ball into a very... Well, I shouldn't say a very specific area, but... There are rooms where you're able to trick shot using Tengu Blade and a Mega Ball. It's mainly the rooms that are, you know, feel very out of hand when it comes to terrain. You can spot them easily the more you play it. And also, the weapon selection itself was kind of made as a skill-based, so if you know how to use Tengu Blade and Magic Card well and Mega Ball well, you're gonna have a fun time with the level.
Mm.
Yeah. Regardless, the weapon set is still really fun to play around with, and gives the level some really great replay value, which it really ties the whole stage together. Thank you, I do appreciate that. Even though the level is very fun once you learn the ropes, the big problem with this level is the poor convenience of the darkness sections. I agree. Pickups are used to be a light source, but those can be well picked up, and the amount of light provided by them is too little. I agree with that. It's kind of hard to balance the darkness gimmick. There's a reason why I included the Bloody Rain in there, so that way you act as your guide, but I wanted to include vertical sections because, you know, I thought it'd be really unique, but I do agree that without including the actual light itself from Dynamo Man's level, it could have been done a lot better. So, you know, I didn't really want to add the Dynamo Light. It felt very unorthodox of the level, because, you know, it doesn't fit.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah. Some stationary Dynamo Lights, oh, great.
Stationary what?
As soon as I mentioned the Dynamo Lights, I get a suggestion of the Dynamo Lights. Yeah. It's not enough for me to outright dislike the stage, obviously. I still think the stage is great by virtue of being here. But it's something that could be improved upon, which I do agree. I actually did improve it in the level. I removed the upward sections because, you know, it didn't work as I thought it would.
Well,
visuals, though, are really, really good. I especially love the backgrounds and the water sections. Everything reads very clearly without holding back on the quality. The Darkness Rain sections were super striking and cool, and added some nice visual variety. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You do cook when you use visuals, like holy crap.
Yeah, I peak with visuals. Well, at least for this level, I peaked. Overall, this level executes its concept fairly well. Nothing too amazing, but I really, really like how the weapon set adds to the gameplay here. Super fun to come back and replay over and over. Hell yeah, and that's what I like. And this concludes my Mega Man Maker level contest devlog. You know, this video was lots of fun to make, as well as participating in this contest. I might do a lot more of these type of videos in the future. Did any of you enter this contest? And if you did, what did you make? Let me know down in the comments below so we can have a great discussion. If you learned a thing or two or enjoyed the video, be sure to give the video a like and subscribe to see more videos. With that being said, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.